Hey guys, welcome to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, it's my birthday. We will get into the Harry and Meghan of it all, don't you worry, but I just wanted to, acknowledge the day, start with some sunshine before we get into the rain, but look at this picture. Oh, I love it so much. I just was feeling good and thankful and happy on my birthday today. Today's Saturday the 27th. I share a birthday with Johnny Depp's daughter, if that intrigues you at all. Yeah, I'm just a little older, but you guys, it's an exciting day. I'm happy. I'll be spending it with my family, but I just wanted to, share the day with you guys, and I wanted to say thank you. I can't even believe I passed 80,000 subscribers. That's huge. It's May. We just celebrated 50 in March. So it's kind of blowing my mind how much things have grown and how exciting it all is. And I owe that all to you, and I know that, and I appreciate every single one of you. It's been an amazing year, including our incredible trip to England and to see, the history of the coronation. It really was amazing. And I just couldn't be happier about all of it, and just happy to have you along with me. So again, this is just my love letter to you all, my cheers to you all, I just appreciate you all so much. I really do. But we are going to get into the video. But anyway, I just wanted to get sappy for a moment and tell you all a huge thank you and show you these beautiful pictures of Catherine, who I love so much, and just all these cute kids and flowers and happy moments. So again, a huge thank you to you all, and have a drink for me today, will ya? Go to a pub, have a pint. That's like my favorite thing. I just love, it's not that I love drinking, I just love England and all things UK and pubs and all that, just all of it. So go have a pint at the pub for me, will you, please? But anyway, huge thank you to you all. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you for all your lovely comments, support, encouragement. You just don't even know. You all write the nicest things to me, and you'll say things like, "Oh, I was having a crappy day. Thank you for the laughs." And I want to say ditto. When I have crappy days, I look at the comments, and you guys really just put a huge smile on my face. So again, a huge thank you for that. So I just appreciate you all so much. But I'm starting with sunshine. I'm going to get into this video. I know you've been waiting for that. We'll get into this video. And then at the end, I'm going to put some more sunshine, and I'll talk some more just in general, because I know some of you just want to hear the Harry and Meghan stuff, and that's okay. So we'll get into that, and then we'll get into some more of these sunshine pictures at the end. So without further ado, thanks again for being here. Okay, pivoting from my sunshine into this dark, stormy mess. It is funny, even the photo is the dark, stormy mess. But I just basically wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you all about what's been on my mind. And if you're on Patreon, I already talked to you guys ahead of time about this. So I wanted to bring it to the main channel because it's just something I've been thinking about. And the thing I've been thinking about, Harry and Meghan, but if I had the opportunity to ask them questions, like that popped into my head, what would I ask them? Now, knowing that you'd never get a truthful answer about any of it, but let's forget about that for a split second. What questions would I ask them? What questions would you ask them? So I thought, I just put pen to paper and started making a list, and I came up with a bunch. I'm sure there's a bunch I left out. And I just thought it would open up conversations about some of their past behavior. And I thought, well, it might also lead to what are your questions that you would ask them? I understand that most of us are on the same page and would tell them just to F right off. I wouldn't ask them anything. But there truly are things that I would love to know. So I came up with this list. I thought it'd be fun to go through and talk about with you guys. So let's take a look at my list. So in no particular order, and again, realizing that this is a daunting task, and there's going to be a million questions that I think of later that I'm like, oh, why didn't I add that? But let's jump into this list. Since it's hypothetical world and I get to ask them questions, I'm also forcing them to answer them truthfully. I know you can never get the truth out of these two, and we'll get into that, but that's my hypothetical. It's my birthday. I'm pulling that card. So it's my rules to the game. And my rules are they have to answer truthfully. Okay, here we go. The first question I literally wrote down, and I'm not even trying to be sarcastic. I literally wrote down, what the F is wrong with both of you? That's my question. What the F is wrong with both of you? Now, I realize they would spin that and talk about their perceived wrongs and, all that bullshit, but I just want to know, what's your problem? Okay, so then I go into the question, why did you lie about getting married 3 days before? It's since been proven that it's a lie. The Archbishop spoke out and said it was a lie. So what was the point of the lie? Now, I do not give Harry a free pass at all. I include him in all of these because he didn't admit that it was a lie, so that makes him complicit. But I do believe it was her lying and he just went along with it. But I'm asking why? Why lie? What was the deal there and why did he go along with it? I guess he wasn't going to stop the interview and be like, what are you talking about? That's illegal here. We don't do that, But no, what is that lie about? I'd like to know about that. That occupies a big space in my brain. Okay, my next question. Why did you name the kids Archie and Lilibet? So I could guess on Lilibet it was for attention, to show some sort of, I don't know, let me cut through the BS. I really think it was a kiss-ass move on their part to try to kiss ass for the queen. Too little, too late, but it's just a feeling I had. And also, in Meghan's mind, I feel like she likes to jab at people, so it's her jab at the queen because it's not, I don't believe they did it with good intentions. Now, Archie is such a strange story. If you haven't heard, allegedly, Archie is the name that security had for little Prince George. So, as you know, when you're protecting and I don't have to explain it to you. Basically, they give them code names, and for whatever reason, little George's code name was Archie. So why did they name their child Archie? Is it truly that they love that name so much? Doubt it. Is it to cause havoc? Probably. Is it a weird jab at William and Catherine? Maybe. Are they weaponizing their kids' names? Yeah, I believe that. I would like to know the story there. What's the deal? What's the deal? I sound like Seinfeld. What's the deal with naming him Archie? Okay, the next one. What were you hoping to achieve with the car chase? Was it truly to get us to feel sorry for you? Did you really think that you could fool people in New York? Did neither of you think out this story that that it could possibly go more than just a few miles per hour again in New York? It just doesn't. What are you hoping to accomplish? What were you hoping would happen? My next question is, where are your children? I think about that a lot, and I really don't, I talk about them as shitty people and stuff. I don't go into the kids because I don't think it's right. I know that's a move that the Sugars do. They often go after the Wales children. It's disgusting, right? I've seen it on TikTok. It's gross. I'm not specifically going after the kids. I'm just asking the parents, what's your deal with these kids? Is it to keep people talking about it? Why, use everything to make money. So I'm surprised they're not using the kids. I'm surprised they're not releasing photos. And as I mentioned, again, in the Patreon video, if you're rewatching, I said, I actually understand your need to protect kids and privacy. So if it's legit that, I actually respect that. I don't believe anything they say, ever. They don't do anything without an ulterior motive. So what's the deal with the kids? I don't understand it. That's my question on that. My next question, we'd never get a straight answer, but my question literally was, why do you lie so much? I think about that a lot too. It's easily verifiable things that they lie about, and I don't understand why it's so much and so often. And we'll go into some specific lies in a little bit with some of my questions, but why lie so much? And when you get caught in your lies, why not? Why don't you ever cop to anything? Why can you do no wrong? That's a big question I have. Okay, my next question. Why do they expect everyone to believe everything they say with no proof? I know it has worked for them in the past. People did believe them for a while. I think the Sugars still believe them, but I just wonder, with everything, why do you say these things, offer up no proof, just expect that people will believe you? Do you guys who I'm talking to now believe that it's because she's a narcissist, that they're both narcissistic, and that they just think that everybody will believe them? Is that what it is? What's going on there? Inflated sense of self? I don't know. Okay, my next question. Where's your gratitude? For absolutely any of it, where's your gratitude? Are you grateful for any of it? For your time with the royal family? For any of the perks you got? For your relationships? Where's your gratitude for any of it? Where are your thank yous? Where are your anything? Where's your gratitude? My next question is, where was Doria? Now, we've all heard the same stories. We were teased by Tom Bauer that we'd get that story. We did not. Allegedly, we've heard about possible jail stuff. But I want to know, where was Doria? And why is that not talked about? It's so weird. Okay, my next question. I think this one's mostly to Harry. Honestly, it's to both of them, but mostly to Harry. How do you live with yourself? How do you justify your actions toward the Queen? I guess that is to both of them. How do you justify that? How are you okay? How do you reconcile what you did to this, this treasure, this wonderful woman who lived a life of service for over 90 years? Just think about that. How do you justify that? How do you live with, making these false accusations against her and making her last few years horrible? I just don't, I'll never forgive it. I'll never understand it. I don't even think there's an answer they could give. But how do you live with yourself? That's the question that I have. My next question is, how are you able to crouch like that while you're that pregnant? That haunts me too. Regardless if you think she was pregnant, not pregnant, moon belly, whatever it is. How do you do that? I've had so many of you in the comments tell me, oh, I was, very athletic. I was a yogi. I was this, that, the other. I couldn't do that. And I would say same. Like, I have told this story a million times. I remember crying when I was very pregnant because, well, everything made me emotional, but also I couldn't put on my socks. Like, it was hard. Don't judge. I had really long legs, but it's hard. It was hard to bend and move and get the belly out of the way and stuff. To do basic tasks like that were hard. So I don't understand how you squat in heels when you're supposedly, allegedly very, very pregnant like that. I don't understand it. Okay. My next question to Harry was she worth it? And I'll actually change that a little bit and say to both of them, was it worth it? But let's go back to the original question. Was she worth it, Harry? Disowning or abandoning or being horrible to your whole family, treating them the way you have, and watching all your relationships deteriorate, whether it's with your family, your friends, everybody. Was it worth it? Was she worth it? My next question is, why do you think you have any credibility, both of you, at all anymore? Again, now talking to you guys, do you think that it's the narcissism? They just think her especially thinks she's the smartest in the room, can outsmart everybody, and just thinks us little pea brains, us little whatever, feeble-minded will just believe her? Believe them? Why do they think they have any credibility left? All right, my next question. What about leaving the UK? Would you still say that was a good idea? What about your patronage? The patronages, Harry especially. What about those? You still feel okay about leaving those? Do you feel like you made the right decision? I know the bullshit answer they'd give is, oh, we love California. But truthfully, I would like to know the truth on that. Was it a good idea? Would you do it again? My next question. What's up with your privacy excuse? How can you claim to want privacy and get mad at the family? Do you remember we'll go into that, I have a separate question, but Harry got mad at his family for allegedly calling the paps or whatever, I don't know, working with the press. And they scream about privacy, but yet they're not willing to give it in return. And again, I'll go further into this in a separate question. Okay, my next question. What happened to your supposed dream of living and working in Africa? I believe it was Harry that said it. I think it was in his book, Spare. He talked about that was his dream. And he had said it before in the press that he pretends to hate. And they even pretended like they didn't want the wedding. It was forced upon them. I sound like a whiny Dracula. But they acted like that they would have been happy to run off and get married in Africa. My next question would be, what's the deal with Archewell? Is that just a money-making scheme? Is that all that is? Did you ever plan to do good with it, or is it all about tax breaks? I suspect I know the answer to that. Okay, my next question is, if you hate the family so much, and you hate Britain so much, or the UK, you hate all of it so much, and in Harry's words, I had to escape, I had to protect my family, all that bullshit. Why do you still use the titles? I know the answer to that too. I know, it's for the clout, but I'm asking, why do you still use the titles then? What's the real reason? My next question is, why are you so hateful toward the Markles? I would say especially Thomas. Why so hateful toward Meghan's dad? What exactly did he do? I don't believe for a second, and again, I went into this on Patreon. I'll go on to here. I apologize if you've already heard it, but I don't believe for a second that the dad did what they accused him of with the paparazzi. But let's say he did. Let's just play devil's advocate. Don't get mad. Let's just pretend for a second that he did. That he staged the whole thing, made $100,000. It sounds like that maybe, potentially, allegedly what happened. Okay. So what? At this point, so what? You guys have sold everything to make money. You do everything for photography purposes, for publicity, for the stunt of it all. If you don't believe me, think about what just went down in New York. So what that he did that? So what? Why did you abandon him? Again, I suspect I know the answer to that one as well. It might be a rhetorical question. I suspect by including him in your life, Meghan's afraid that he would fill in a lot of details that she's lying about. Just a hunch. Okay. My next question. Do you actually believe the shit you tell us? Or the shit you sell us? I wrote down both. I really want to know. Do you guys do you talk to each other about the lies, or do you just lie to each other as well? Are they the couple that just go to bed pretending? Do they tell each other, hey, can you believe we got away with it? Or do you think that they believe their own lies? Or do you think they just don't have that kind of relationship where they talk about things? Okay, my next question. What do you miss most about your old life? I guess that's mostly to Harold. What do you miss about your old life? Do you actually miss your family? Do you miss William? Do you miss talking to him and having a close relationship? Do you miss your dad? That's the question I would ask there. My next one is, how are you going to demand respect/privacy and then write a tell-all book about your family? I'm looking at you, Harold of Harold and Fraud. I know, I always get a million comments. His birth name is not Harold. I know, it's a joke. I know you guys know that, but I always have one. It's so funny. Okay. How are you going to demand respect/privacy and then write a tell-all book about your family? Looking at you, Harry. Think about that. He went after his family in the book and said basically that Camilla was leaking things. He accused Charles of being jealous of, I don't know what, attention that the others were getting and involving the press in the game there and just everything. And the palace of leaking stories, everything. He accused everybody of everything. But again, no accountability whatsoever for them. And then he went on to reveal personal, intimate details of conversations. I don't believe any of it, but let's just say it's true. Conversations he had with Charles at his grandfather's funeral. And then details, including details of William's, schmeckle, private area, whatever you want to call it. He went into details about that in the book. Yep, that's true. He actually did. I talk about that. So how are you going to reveal personal details like that and yet still demand respect and privacy when you've shown none? Okay, my next question. Was it worth it for your kids to have no connection to either side of the family? Was it? Would you still make that decision again? Do you care about your kids? I know it sounds like a horribly mean question, and I would never ask it to most people, but to them, I'm legitimately asking. Because it is weird to cut them off from both sides of the family. Okay, my next question. Why do you both go out of your way to make digs at Catherine? Why Catherine specifically? They do it to Charles as well. They did it to, well, they did it to everybody, William. They call him Willie. But it seems specific to Catherine. Now, I have a guess on this one, too. Methinks that Maggie Poo is insecure, jealous, whatever word you want to fill in there. I'm sure she's that. So it makes her really shitty toward Catherine. So I just wonder why, and why, Harry, do you go along with it? You are, again, by not speaking out, you're complicit. So all those years of what seemed like a great relationship between Harry and Catherine, and I just wonder, why does he go along with it and continue to dig at her as well? If you don't believe me, pick any of her birthdays and Google what they were up to on that day. They usually do things to try to release, they release headlines to try to get attention for themselves. It's very bizarre. Okay, my next question, how long until the divorce? I don't know if they can answer that one, but have you already both hired attorneys? How far are we into this process? I feel like it's coming. And again, I said this on Patreon. I would never normally talk like that about a couple. I just don't feel bad in their case. I feel like, again, they have done this to everybody. They talk crap about everybody. They sell everybody out. So they're fair game as far as I'm concerned. So I ask you, how long to your divorce? Because I think it's going to get juicy when it happens. My next question, what's up with your financials? God, you guys, can you imagine? I would love to get a hold of their banking information. At first, I assumed they were just rolling in money and printing money from all these deals we heard about. I've now kind of changed my tune on that. I feel like that I do know that deals get inflated, especially for, media that they claim to hate, but they share all their information with. So I believe that those numbers are always inflated. I feel like things aren't taken in consideration, like, lawyers and agents and everything in between. They get cuts. So, I don't know if they made as much as the news wants us to think that they made, but they got to be hemorrhaging money. We've seen their spending. We've seen her ridiculous outfits. We've seen, the security. We've seen all of it. We found out that Charles gave him, now I can't remember the number, but it's been proven it was over $1 million, I believe, since he left. Even after he left, remember when he claimed that his father cut him off? It was proven because Charles shows where the Duchy of Cornwall stuff goes, and it was proven that he was giving money to Harold and Fraud. So I just, again, nothing's ever true, but I want to know about their financials. I want to know all the details. How does that work? Does Meghan have her own separate account? Is she squirreling money away? What's going on? Do you guys have any money left? That's my question. When I was looking into that, by the way, I read a thing. I don't know if it's true. It's probably just internet fodder, but I don't put anything past them. That Harry had gotten, I guess, a set of his grandfather's, I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube, weaponry, we'll say, old weaponry. And he sold it. And I ask you, is that a thing you've heard? Of course he wouldn't consider giving it back to the family or to a museum or wherever you want to give it to. Instead, he sold it. I just wonder, is that true? Because that would lend into the conversation of, oh, there actually are hemorrhaging money. Okay, my next question would be to Meghan. So why tell everybody that you never Googled Prince Harry? I mean, again, I have a guess for this. I assume it's to make herself look more relatable, but it had the opposite effect. Most people, I think, could see right through that and say, what are you talking about? Of course you did. We all have, we've all Googled significant, or whatever. We've all Googled people. We've all heard of the royal family. So who do you think you're fooling? And did it fool Harry? Does he actually believe that bullshit? I believe he does. I believe he's painfully stupid and he wanted to believe her, so he just did. Okay, my next question is, how did they actually meet? We've heard 4 different accounts of it, at least. And I wonder, what's the real truth? Yacht Girl? That Soho Club? What's the truth? How did you actually meet? I don't believe the dog filter story, so what is it? All right. my next question is, why keep telling people that your dad didn't pay for college? I had heard in interviews, and now I can't remember where I heard it. I believe actually Lady C brought it up in her book, that there's proof out there that her dad paid for school. So why keep peddling that story that she paid for it? Is it to make us feel sorry for her and to paint herself more as a victim? That's what I suspect. What's the real truth there? Okay. The next question is, why the lie about no help for mental health struggles? If Harry was so open about his mental health struggles, there's even video of the mental health campaign that he and William and Catherine had helped start up, and there's video of him discussing it openly. So with the story of Meghan, she claims that she was really struggling to the point of thinking, dark thoughts and alleging, taking herself out. Those are the thoughts that she's saying she was having. But then they say they went to somebody, an unnamed person. They like to do that. They don't like to name people. They just make up these people. Unnamed person, and that unnamed person said, "Oh no, you can't go forward this. How would it look for all of us?" Well, how would it look if I'm not believing anything that Meghan says, but let's say she's telling the truth. How would it look then if she took herself out? That story just doesn't make sense at all. So even if so, he's her husband. Wouldn't he step in and say, "This is ridiculous. We're going to get her help," and maybe recommend somebody? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. To me, it's not the same, but it's similar to the curtsy story where she claims she didn't know how to curtsy. He's your husband. He's part of the family. Or at that point, he was her fiance, boyfriend, whatever he was. He's the part of the family. Wouldn't he teach you how to do a curtsy? None of this makes any sense. I don't know why I bother. I'm talking through gritted teeth. Okay, let's keep moving on here. I have more questions. Okay, my other question, lest we forget, she claims that the British press called her child the N-word. I need more information than this. You can't just throw out random claims like this with nothing to support your claim. Again, we're just supposed to believe it and not supposed to question it. So many people have come forward and said that would never happen. And if it did, there would have been, riots. Like, it would have been a huge deal. And you don't think that these two who have shown to be litigious wouldn't sue the pants? I don't know if you can sue for that, but you know what I mean? Take legal action against the supposed reporter who did this, or wouldn't they scream his or her name from the rooftops to try to get them fired? You know what I mean? Like, they're never shy to do stuff like that. So it just lends itself to show that they're full of crap and it never happened. Okay, my next question. If you stayed in the UK, you had said yourself, if you stayed in the UK, your children would have been hounded by the paparazzi. They gave some story about drop off every day. They would have been subjected to the paparazzi. But that's not the case. That's been proven to not be the case. It was explained with William and Catherine that they have a deal with the paparazzi that on the first day of school, they are allowed to be in a certain position. They're allowed to get certain photos. It's fine. It's like a deal that they worked out. I don't know all the logistics, but it was something along those lines. Hence why we get first day of school pictures sometimes of them. Okay. But after that, the kids are off limits. I'm taking this all in as I tell the story. I haven't really talked about this. But according to them, they seem to think that their children will be hounded every day at school. Well, if that's the case, then how come that doesn't happen to the Wales children, right? Do they think that their children are just, is it part of being a narcissist? Their children are even more special, so they would be subjected to even more? It doesn't make any sense. And again, I don't even know why I'm trying to make sense out of it, but, trying to think. I feel like there was one more, but that's my list of questions that I had. None of it makes any sense to me. Those would be the questions that I would immediately ask. I feel like I would have 100,000 more questions about the Queen specifically. I would want to know about all of it. And I don't even know what I expect from them. Again, I'd have to give them some sort of truth serum and hear the real answers. That's what would make it interesting because I'm not interested in being fed more bullshit from them. We've had that. We've had years of that and it's not working. So I want to hear the true answers. I would be very curious about that. So now it's your turn. I want to know in the comments what your question would be. Let's again go under the assumption that they'd have to tell the truth. What would you ask them? What's your burning question or questions? I'm dying to know. So leave me comments. I feel like I've missed a million of them. I feel like I didn't ask enough about William and why they're always targeting William as well. And what's the deal? Again, I suspect it's jealousy, but what's their reasoning behind it? That's what I'd like to know. How do they justify their actions? I guess they just don't. They just believe their own bullshit. I'm not sure. Okay, the rain has passed. Let's go back to some sunshine. I love this picture so much. I don't even love the color yellow in general. I know that's weird. It's just my own weird hang up. I don't. So, I think she looks beautiful and everything. This isn't my favorite dress just because of my weird hang up on yellow, but she looks gorgeous and so happy. I think that's what it is. She's genuinely a happy person, and so it radiates in her photos. And look how pretty with the flowers. Oh, so cute. And I love these photos so much. Seriously, this is my happy place right here. Look how cute that kid is. Oh my goodness, I'm dying over the cuteness of it all. But I want to say thank you again. I mean, again, I'm going to go celebrate with my family. I'm going to have the best day, and I hope you do too. And I want you to know I don't take for granted this channel. It means the world to me. You guys mean the world to me. I love getting to know all of you from your comments. I really do. I'm not always able to write back, but I do read them and I appreciate them. And it means so much that you take the time to write a comment. It means so much that so many of you hit that thanks button and leave super thanks and stuff. It really does. So many of you showed up to our live chat last weekend, and that meant so much. And don't worry, if you missed it, we'll do more. We had so much fun. P.S. If you won something in that live chat, we got them mailed out this week, so you should receive them very soon, hopefully. Unless you're far away, then be patient. But anyway, again, thank you all for coming to that. You should receive them next week. But just everything. I can't believe I passed 80,000 subs. I can't believe just all of it. I think I started the year, I was trying to remember, I think I started the year at 20,000 and then I was at 50 by March, and then I'm at 80 in May. That's crazy. Crazy. I can't believe that this channel let me go to Coronation, to England, one of my favorite places in the whole world. I feel so lucky for that. All of it. Unbelievable blessings. It's been an incredible year, like I say, and I'm so excited to see what this next year brings. I want to continue to travel. As soon as I get that plaque, I've had so many people ask, when I hit 100,000, then I hopefully will get my plaque and I will unbox it for you all. I'll show it. I was trying to think of a fun place to go to unbox it. So I'm working on that, but I feel so fortunate, and I want you to know it's because of you all. So thank you all so much for everything. I truly, truly appreciate you all. And I mean, just as always, have the best day and go have a pint for me or take a walk in a park for me or whatever else. And we'll celebrate this day together. So as always, thank you for everything. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.